Hey there, everybody. Thomas Wood with Basecamp Trading. It is Tuesday, March 21st, and we're going to take a look at the S&P and more specifically, what happened today. It's about 1 o'clock and markets have taken a nosedive, as you can tell by looking at this 240-minute price chart. But there's a couple things that tipped us off, and if you were in the trading room, you know we had a really good short entries that we talked about on a break below 23.73 and a quarter in the S&P. Okay, now for those of you wondering where that's at, that's right here, 23.73 and a quarter. So there was a couple different things we were looking at though. First off, shorter time frames, we had been in a channel. We were moving sideways in a channel. But the big thing that tipped us off that suggested we were going to have a big move down in the S&P and a big move up in bonds and up in gold is that we broke through this resistance. So we had a nice, what we call a micro trend here. We broke through it, pulled back and closed below it, broke through it again, pulled back and closed below it yet again. And the second time we did it, we formed what we call a shooting star. A shooting star is a bearish price action pattern. Now we ended up breaking through. The trigger for that's the break of the low of the shooting star, but because we had the other low just below it, we would say wait for the 23.73 and a quarter break because it's safer. We ended up breaking through there and accelerating through the floor. Now the first support was down here from the pivot low at 23.65, roughly. What's it? 23.65 and a half. And then we came down again to the trend line, which was at 23.61 and a half, broke through both of those. And what you got to pay attention to is how does the market behave when you're coming into these support and resistance zones. If you are just breaking through them and running, then you expect that market to accelerate. Okay, so in this case, we broke through and we ran, right? So the market wasn't pausing when we ran into support resistance, which tells us, okay, we still have legs. We still have momentum behind this. So there's a couple different things. Again, the failed bullish signal, which often turns bearish. Failed false breakout, close below, false breakout, close below, tells us it's running stops. The shooting star, the support break, and then the way it behaved when it broke through the support. Now, for those of you that have followed how we do naked trading and what naked trading is, it's all about trading price action. Now, you've probably, if you've seen the YouTube video about naked trading that describes the fundamentals of it, then you know the definition of a trend. If you don't, at the end of this video, there's going to be a link you can click on to go watch that. But let's take a look at what the short-term charts look like as well. So this is a 2-minute price chart, okay? So the definition of a trend is lower high and lower low pivot points. So if we come here and we look at what the S&P did, here was that 73.5 support that we broke through. All right, first off, when we broke, we ran, which is exactly right, what you want to see. Second, momentum, very, very bearish going into the support break, which is also what you want to see. But look at our trend. We go lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, all the way down until we got over here. And right here, we had a micro trend, and right here we had a micro trend. Micro trend is this little number right there, and then break through for a potential short entry, and then this right here as well, and then break through for potential short entry to resume the down move. So intraday, or when you use your drill down analysis and we go, okay, we have long-term charts saying it should go lower, we drill down to short-term charts, and then we can start trailing our stops behind each of these pivot highs as you continue to move, and that keeps you in it for the big down move as opposed to just jumping in and jumping right back out with just a couple point gain. So that'll help you with increasing your reward risk because you're going to make more on your winning trades because you're allowing those winners to run. All right. Now it's important to remember that you don't want to do that necessarily with every single trade. A lot of times we'll use significantly over and undervalued for a target, but the reason we were talking about seeing bigger moves today is because we had longer time frame charts all lining up saying it should go lower. Now another example of micro trend and how that works is if you go look at what gold did today. Here's a 120-minute or 240-minute gold chart. Okay, overall trend was higher highs, higher lows ever since this trend line break. Way down here, we had a pennant that we were inside of down here, which, by the way, the gold pennant breakout, I did a video on this last week when this happened, but it was the same type of setup. You broke through support, turned around and closed above, so you ran stops just like the S&P did today, and then reversed and climbed. Well, if you came into the trading room first thing this morning, we talked about watching this trend line here because we put in a lower high and a lower low against the overall up moving trend. Well, then we broke through that, and we actually said, instead of buying the trend line break, wait for the safer entry above 35.5, because that's just above that trend line. So it broke at 35.5, and now you can see you're up 10 points right now at 12.55 current price. So overall, great job today. Just one of the ways you can use naked trading that helps you tremendously, especially when we get markets that are having big moves and are trending really well. So that's all I have for you for today. Again, at the end of this video, there's going to be a link you can click on to go see the naked trading webinar. It's about an hour long. It'll teach you all about naked trading. Also, don't forget to click the button to subscribe. We send out videos like this every day explaining different setups and how they work. But that's it for today. And until next time, happy trading.